As we reach the midpoint of the year 2020, it has been a rough year on the aviation industry, thanks in part to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. After the initial outbreak earlier this year, some countries have gradually started to ease travel restrictions, paving the way for more commercial flights to resume, while airlines around the world count the cost of losses caused by the aviation downturn. Among those airlines include Cathay Pacific, which is considered Hong Kong's flag carrier. Within the past week, it made headlines around the world with a large Hong Kong-backed financial assistance plan. In a recent filing to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, Cathay Pacific announced a three-part recapitalization plan, very much a bailout, supported by the Hong Kong SAR government, with a worth when all said and done to be estimated around 39 billion Hong Kong dollars. The stock filing explains more details as to what the full three-part plan will include, but for the purposes of this video, I will summarize some of the key points. Within the new proposal, the airline will be selling around 19.5 billion Hong Kong dollars in preference shares, along with 1.95 billion Hong Kong dollars in detachable warrants to the city government, which some reports have estimated that the shares that the city government of Hong Kong will get of the airline to be around 6%. The airline will also launch a 11.7 billion Hong Kong dollar rights issue of shares to existing shareholders upon getting the approval from requisite shareholders. And the last part of the plan will be a 7.8 billion Hong Kong dollar bridge loan from Aviation 2020 Limited, a Hong Kong city government-backed entity. With the involvement of Aviation Limited, the Hong Kong government will get 2 observer seats in Cathay Pacific's board. With the Hong Kong government becoming more involved and gaining shares in Cathay Pacific, it will see the adjustment of the current shareholders, including majority shareholder Swire Group, which will see its shares go from 45% down to 42%, Air China's stake from 30% to 28%, and Qatar Airways from 10 to 9.4%. This new development comes at a crucial time for Cathay Pacific, as it has been struggling throughout the last year, and just being a few years out of returning to profitability in 2018 after a tumultuous 2010s. Along with the downturn caused by the Hong Kong pro-democracy protests in the summer of 2019 until now, Cathay Pacific, along with the mainland Chinese carriers, took a major hit as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, with China being a main source of traffic for the airline. In all, according to Cathay Pacific Chairman Patrick Healy, the airline group has lost a reported Hong Kong $3 billion since February, and air traffic passenger revenue has been down to around 1% compared to the year prior, as air traffic capacity has been cut by over 90%. While Cathay Pacific and Cathay Dragon flights are currently operating at a bare-bones schedule, the Hong Kong Express, the Cathay Pacific Group budget carrier subsidiary, currently has been suspended since March 23, and it is expected to go further into July thanks to a recent announcement of further suspensions until July 11. The financial assistance from the Hong Kong government, or the bailout, has been seen by the aviation observers in Hong Kong and around the world to be protecting Hong Kong's aviation industry, with Cathay Pacific playing a major role in the tourism and trade industries of the Hong Kong city government, which I will say is one of the more proactive in terms of their aviation industries compared to other countries in the Asia Pacific. While international flights are operated to and from Hong Kong, Cathay Pacific doesn't have the advantage of some other airlines in the region with domestic markets, which makes international travel to and from Hong Kong as well as transit travel all the more important for the airline and also the city of Hong Kong. While I see the financial assistance being put to good use to keep the operations alive for Cathay Pacific for the time being, the airline's future will be heavily dependent on international arrivals, which the Hong Kong government has banned any incoming arrivals, except for residents and permanent residents, until September. So for now, Cathay Pacific will have to heavily depend on transit travel, which recently the Hong Kong government has relaxed restrictions on. Still, it will be a precarious situation for the airline, which has hinted on future restructuring of the airline and its subsidiaries. Along with the staff and pay cuts that we have seen already, I definitely won't be surprised, given the current state of the aviation industry, that the airline group will adjust some of its aircraft orders from both Boeing and Airbus, including the orders for the Boeing 777X and the A321s for Hong Kong Express and Cathay Dragon, along with the remaining A350 orders to the mainline fleet. Cathay Pacific is one of Hong Kong's most recognizable global brands, and a loss of Cathay Pacific would be a major loss to the whole Hong Kong economy overall. It is for that reason why the bailout from the Hong Kong city government is so important to the airline, especially given the stake of the competitor Hong Kong Airlines, which is going through its own financial situation, and the loss of both airlines within a span of a few years would be a very doomsday type scenario for Hong Kong city government, which they would rather avoid. What is your take on this plan of Cathay Pacific to gain some assistance from the Hong Kong city government? And how do you see the Hong Kong government involvement in the operations of Cathay Pacific? This has been Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates from the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Once again, thank you for watching and have a great day.